What do you think in the days to come, this positive trajectory of Pak-US relations will continue?
As long as it is in the interest of the United States. And I think right now, Americans think because of economic interest, because of this discovery of rare earth minerals in Pakistan, because of Pakistan's strategic location, because of the situation in Iran, because of the situation in Afghanistan. Yes, the United States will like to stay engaged in Pakistan. Pakistan is playing the role of a mediator between the United States and Iran, and that the Americans expect Pakistan to continue playing this role. There has been an improvement, a very noticeable improvement in US-Pakistan relations. For the first time since 2011, we are seeing high-level meetings. The Pakistan Army chief was also at the White House, but Pakistan is also a country of 250 million people. Pakistan is a nuclear power. Pakistan as a large middle class. Pakistanis are spread across the globe. So treat Pakistan as Pakistan. And as the foreign minister indicated in his statement, that we want a long-term U.S. engagement.
Has Pakistan convinced Americans on its position, on its narrative, on Pahalgam, on Kashmir, for which even Pakistan has offered sincere investigation, but India continued to blame Pakistan?
India's reaction, it was a very unwise, I would say stupid reaction, that actually made the world realize that it is not wrong to always blame Pakistan for everything, that India is also a very irresponsible power.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Hello and welcome to program Insight in V News English. Dear viewers, on July 25th, we have seen high-level meeting between Pakistan and United States at the State Department in Washington, D.C. Pakistani Foreign Minister met his American counterpart, Secretary Rubio. That meeting covered all aspects of bilateral relations between Pakistan and United States, including situation in Middle East, situation of terrorism in Afghanistan. The meeting also covered Iran, and the meeting also covered economic and trade ties. And it was agreed that both countries will hold counter-terrorism dialogue in August in Islamabad. Another important development is that Foreign Minister Dar and Secretary Rubio again contacted each other on telephone, in which they discussed again bilateral ties, what actually is cooking up, what actually is happening between Pakistan and United States, and why there is a follow-up telephone call. And previously the things that were discussed, is there is any significant progress on the consensus achieved in July 25th meeting in Washington. To discuss this all and the future roadmap of Pakistan-US relations, we are fortunate to have with us senior analyst and journalist based in Washington, Mr. Anwar Iqbal. Very warm welcome to program Insight in V News English. So, Mr. Anwar Iqbal, so you covered that particular meeting of July 25 between Foreign Minister of Pakistan, Mr. Ishaq Dar, and U.S. Secretary of State, Secretary Rubio. So, although there have been two separate statements, one statement from State Department in which there were certain things, including counterterrorism cooperation, including issue of Iran was discussed, and of course, trade and economic ties. So Pakistani statement elaborated the things in detail. So please share with us what actually was discussed, and is there any progress on the points that the both sides agreed upon in July 25 meeting?
Thank you very much for inviting me. First of all, it was a one-on-one meeting, right? The details of the meetings have not been disclosed. There was a brief statement issued, actually two brief statements, one issued by the Pakistani side, the other issued by the American side. And there were also social media posts, one by our foreign minister and one by their Secretary of State. So, I mean, what most people are doing are just trying to find clues about what might have been discussed in those two statements. I mean, the Pakistani statements and the American statements. The issues identified in those statements are more or less the same. I mean, both sides talked about Iran, both sides talked about the situation in Afghanistan, I mean, particularly with reference to counterterrorism and trade and bilateral relations.
Middle East.
But the emphasis was different. The U.S. statement, particularly the one issued by the State Department, actually few hours after the meeting, which obviously gave them enough time to formulate a statement that reflects what they want to emphasize. So that statement started with Iran, saying that the United States appreciates Pakistan's mediatory role with Iran, which obviously says that Pakistan is playing a role, that Pakistan is playing the role of a mediator between the United States and Iran, and that the Americans expect Pakistan to continue playing this role. The second point in the statement was counterterrorism.
So very, very important area.
Yes, very important. But remember, when we talk about counterterrorism, Pakistan does, we talk about what's happening inside Pakistan, people coming from Afghanistan into Pakistan. And we also talk about the Indian support for insurgents in Balochistan. Okay. But when the Americans talk about counterterrorism, their emphasis is a little different. They are also focused on Afghanistan, but they are more focused on groups like ISIS-K and others who target America or American interests or American allies in the region. What we have been hearing in Washington, and what you might have also seen at the foreign ministers' press conference, news conference, sorry, not the news conference, but at the think tank that he addressed in Washington, there was only one Afghan journalist who was allowed to ask a question, because the questions were submitted to the moderator, who picked and chose what to highlight, what not to highlight. And the first question was from an Afghan journalist who asked our foreign minister if Pakistan would allow Afghan dissidents to use its territory for carrying out activities aimed at toppling the Taliban government in Kabul. To which the foreign minister obviously replied that no, Pakistan will not interfere in the internal affairs of Afghanistan. But there is a lot of talk in Washington about that. There are people, not the government, not government officials, but the people in think tanks, the American media and others are sort of pondering over a possible role for Pakistan in toppling the Afghanistan. And that's a very significant thing. If it happens, it will have a profound impact on the entire region. But my belief is that I think Pakistan is not going to do that. That Pakistan will stay out of Afghanistan and it will let the Afghans decide it. But if things warm up, if actually a movement is launched against the Taliban, then against the Taliban government in Afghanistan, then sooner or later Pakistan may be forced to get involved. Similarly, on Iran, Pakistan is being very careful. Pakistan does not want to get involved in Afghanistan directly. Pakistan will not support any type of activities that intend to change the government in Afghanistan, to that intend to that takes a particular line against Iran, or the government in Tehran. Pakistan would like to. I mean, Pakistan has a significant number of people in the country who sympathize with Iran, and any involvement in Iran will have consequences not just for the entire region, but particularly for Pakistan and inside Pakistan. So I think so far Pakistan is being very, very careful on both fronts. I mean, for the lack of any other word, any other term I'm using, front. Also, Pakistan does not see Iran as a front, but I'm using that word. So on both fronts, Pakistan would like to remain neutral. There is another issue which was discussed, at least in that think tank, when the moderator asked him, and that is Pakistan-China relations. That is another subject that is often discussed in Washington, and the moderator reminded our foreign minister that, look, there has been an improvement, a very noticeable improvement in U.S.-Pakistan relations. For the first time since 2011, we are seeing high-level meetings. The Pakistan Army chief was also at the White House. Then the foreign minister had a meeting with the U.S. Secretary of State. Then they had a conversation on yesterday, which was what, on Monday. So what the foreign minister was asked, that, look, there has been a significant improvement in relations, but it's still now the biggest supplier of weapons to Pakistan is China, not the United States anymore. And this could have a negative impact on U.S.-Pakistan relations. So will Pakistan reconsider this policy? To which the foreign minister said that we will buy weapons or acquire weapons from whoever offers a better deal, indicating that China is giving Pakistan a better deal. So Pakistan will continue to acquire weapons from China. I think so. On this point, also, the United States and Pakistan, despite this growing relationship, have a different point of view. What I think Pakistan is seeking is that, look, Pakistan is an important country on its own. It is a country that has borders with Iran, China, India, Afghanistan, and therefore treats Pakistan as an independent country. Stop this policy of actually always viewing Pakistan from somebody else's prism, like Afghanistan or Iran or India. Yes, we have borders with those countries, but Pakistan is also a country of 250 million people. Pakistan is a nuclear power. Pakistan has a large middle class. Pakistan is spread across the globe. So treat Pakistan as Pakistan. And as the foreign minister indicated in his statement, that we want a long-term U.S. engagement, and we urge Washington to realize that disengagement from the region has always had negative consequences. So Pakistan hopes that the United States will stay engaged in South Asia, that the United States will help resolve the issues that have that threaten the entire region, particularly the issue of Kashmir, and the United States, as it did during the brief India-Pakistan war in May, the United States will do so in the future as well to stop any armed conflict in the region.
Anwar, since last almost 5 years, there have been no high-level contact, high-level mean at the level of President and Prime Minister between Pakistan and the United States. The last meeting, which you also covered was in the White House. It was in 2019 between the then Prime Minister and U.S. President Trump. So, is current Pakistani Foreign Minister Mr. Dar is seeking a meeting between Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif and U.S. President Trump. So, because it is all about political ties, diplomatic ties, although we have seen Mr. Dar has met previously in coalition government when Bilawal Bhutto Zardari was foreign minister. He held meeting with the then Secretary of State. But Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif has so far not met President Trump. So is our foreign minister seeking such meeting between two leaders?
Again, nobody has said anything about that, officially. There's been no statement on the Pakistani side or the American side. But yes, people in Washington do talk about it, especially Pakistani Americans. People do say that Pakistan would like a meeting between Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif and the American president, and that this is one of the subjects, one of the topics that might have been discussed between Mr. Dar and Mr. Rubio. But again, as I said earlier, this would only be a
guess. Not confirmed.
It will only be a guess. If it happens, one possibility is September.
During the United Nations General Assembly.
Of this meeting happening in September during the UN General Assembly. When during the General Assembly, the U.S. President holds a large reception which is attended by all world leaders, and it has happened in the past with Mr. Nawaz Sharif that the then U.S. President had a brief meeting with him during the reception. So the same kind of meeting, 5-10 minutes meeting on the sidelines of that.
Connected with Shehbaz Sharif in 2022, not Nawaz Sharif.
A brief meeting may happen.
Exactly, it was handshake and exchange of
something similar, a little more than handshake, where you just spend a few minutes with each other so that both sides could say that a meeting happened. That's all.
So there was a follow-up telephone call between Foreign Minister Dar and Secretary Rubio. What prompted both these top diplomats to speak again with each other on telephone yesterday?
Well, that was during an international conference on Palestine. And the Americans have openly condemned that conference and are boycotting it. So again, it is my guess is as good as your guess. It might have been about that meeting. It might have been about something else. But nothing urgent happened in the world or in our region during the last 24 to 48 hours. So one can guess that it was probably about that meeting on Palestine.
So, Anwar Iqbal sir, we have been covering United Nations, particularly last week events which were attended by Foreign Minister Dar, and there have been series of high-level events. And now, as you said, there is a conference going on, and Foreign Minister Dar has extended his visit. My first part of the question is about the high-level signature event that Pakistan hosted at United Nations Security Council. So please give an assessment. Did this signature event at the UN Security Council create any impact? Although there was a resolution adopted by UN Security Council sponsored by Pakistan, and that called for peaceful resolution of conflicts through consensus. So what do you think? This resolution will have any impact on Kashmir, on Palestine, on any other conflict?
Mateen, Haider, we spent our entire lives writing about, watching conferences on Kashmir, right? Talking about Kashmir, watching conferences on Kashmir,
reading resolutions,
and everything. There are UN Security Council specific resolutions mentioning Kashmir, demanding a plebiscite, and all sorts of things, right? And those even specific resolutions have not had much impact. they have never been implemented. How would a resolution which does not even mention Kashmir or Pakistan or Ukraine or any other issue, how much impact would that resolution have? I mean, Pakistan is presiding over. We still have 2 more days to go. The current session of the U.S. Security Council, we were present for a month, for the month of July, and during this time we had very smartly planned certain signature events, which of course drew world attentions toward Pakistan and its presidency, and we very smartly drafted a resolution that could have been easily adopted as it was. I mean, the Americans voted for it, and it's simply because that resolution does not have much of an impact. It will not push the Kashmir issue up. It will not bring it down. It will not impact the situation in Gaza. It will not have an impact on Ukraine. It is a request that to do something that is already highlighted in the U.S. Charter. The U.S. was founded to resolve issue through negotiations, not war. And what our resolution did was to remind the United Nations that it was founded to resolve disputes through talks. That's it.
So, coming to this India-Pakistan relations, of course, Kashmir is a very integral part of the issue between Pakistan and India. In the aftermath of 22nd April, when this Pahalgam terrorism incident took place, India blamed Pakistan, propagated a lot against Pakistan. So it was war of narratives. And there is no doubt that Pakistani narrative was accepted by international community. You have also interacted with the head of Pakistani delegation, Mr. Bilawal Bhutto Zardari. Now, question is, right, has Pakistan convinced Americans on its position, on its narrative, on Pahalgam, on Kashmir, for which even Pakistan has offered sincere investigation. But India continued to blame Pakistan, continue to refuse to sit with Pakistan. Yes, Anwar Saab.
Again, you're expanding things, see, to include everything. See, yes, that not so much Pahalgam, but India's reaction. It was a very unwise, I would say, stupid reaction that actually made the world realize that it is wrong to blame. It is not wrong to always blame Pakistan for everything. That India is also a very irresponsible power, that despite being a major world power, despite being the most populated country in the world, despite whatever it says about world peace, etc., knee-jerk reaction showed that it's always willing to go to war over anything that suits his interest. I mean, they just were using Pahalgam as an excuse to teach Pakistan a lesson. And I think they became a victim of their own propaganda. They've always been saying that Pakistan is too weak, that Pakistan's economy has collapsed, and that Pakistan can never fight back India. But Pakistanis did, and Pakistanis showed the world that they are capable of. Indians also have always believed that Pakistan may have acquired nuclear weapons, but it does not have a delivery system. Pakistan, by reacting the way it did, showed that if it has a good enough system to go nuclear, if it is forced to do so, Pakistan will never initiate a nuclear war. Pakistan will never be the first to do so. But if Pakistan is cornered, it has the capability of doing this, and that alarmed the world. And that is why Pakistan's position was appreciated across the globe, and it strengthened Pakistan's defense. It strengthened Pakistan's position. But to say that it will help resolve the Kashmir issue, that it may force India to negotiate Kashmir with us and everything, I think that's not going to happen in the near future.
Anwar Saab, the American statement clearly mentioned counterterrorism, and it was said that the counterterrorism dialogue will take place in Islamabad, and that will be between Pakistan and United States. What sort of counterterrorism cooperation Americans are seeking now from Pakistan? Although Pakistan has fought this American war for almost more than 2 decades in Afghanistan, so where is the terrorism threat?
See, most of the attacks in Pakistan, let's start it from Pakistan's point of view. Most of the terrorists who attack targets in Pakistan, including Balochistan, have their bases in Afghanistan. They cross the border, carry out an attack, and go back. And the Americans also fear that anti-American groups like ISK are based in Afghanistan, and they are using those bases to spread terrorism across the globe. And so they have one common interest is to counter those groups and to persuade Afghanistan to stop supporting them and to actually act within the international community to dismantle the camps that they have inside Afghanistan, so and disband those groups. So I think because they have this counterterrorism that Congress is the common interest. So I think this incoming dialogue could be very significant and useful for both Pakistan and America.
So, Pakistani finance minister is in Washington. So, what do you think? Will he be in a position to finalize this tariff issue between Pakistan and United?
Well, we have been told that we are very close to an agreement that we should expect it any moment.
So, what that expected agreement may be about?
Well,
it would be in favor of Pakistan.
You see, it is very simple. What the Americans are saying, not just to Pakistan but to the whole world, that look, in most cases, the balance of trade goes against America, which is that people import more goods to America than they buy from it. So Americans are trying to correct that balance.
I mean, there are exports to United States and less imports from United States.
From the United States, yes.
Exactly. This is the issue.
So in Pakistan's case, I mean, the Pakistan bilateral trade is worth about $7 billion. About Pakistan actually exports goods worth about $5 billion and buys $2 billion worth of goods from America. So Americans want to correct that, and that can be easily done. Pakistan has offered to buy oil from America. Pakistan has offered to buy machinery from America, and Pakistan can easily do that because Pakistan needs those things, and that will correct the balance because Pakistan is not in a position to give a very high tariff as the Trump administration is suggesting. So what Pakistan has requested Washington is to reconsider suggested 29% tariff on Pakistani goods, and instead of increasing tariff, it should correct this balance by allowing Pakistan to buy more goods from America. So, and because it is so small, $7 billion is nothing. I mean, the education budget of the county where I live, which has a total population of 5 million only, and the education budget for schools only, not colleges or universities, is $3.2 billion for a district. I mean, which is not even a district; it is like a neighborhood of Rawalpindi or Karachi. So $5 billion is not a big amount that can easily be adjusted.
So America has been quite focusing on South Asia. Recently, we have seen Mr. Trump has also intervened between Thailand and Cambodia, and previously he intervened between Pakistan and India during 10th May conflict. So question is now, yes. Is India now reliable for United States as a security provider in South Asia? It has lost its credibility in the aftermath.
So the question is not whether India is good enough for America or not. I mean, India is a large country. India has a large economy. India it has a huge population.
But
India
it's a responsible state.
It is there, and it cannot be ignored. And when we say what role can President Trump play in diffusing situations, in diffusing tension between India and Pakistan, or in resolving the Kashmir issue, we must also keep in mind that in the past, there have been instances where when the Pakistan had very good relations with the United States, when American openly acknowledged Kashmir as a disputed territory, and when they tried to bring about pressure on India to negotiate, even then it did not work. So I don't see that President Trump would get openly involved in something in which he does not have much of an influence. The US administration or people in Washington realize that America may have some influence on India, but it cannot actually force India to do anything.
To whom India will be listening, Anwar Saab? So
no one. No one. India is a big country. Want to believe that we can actually get Kashmir through negotiations or by involving other countries? No, it will not happen. And there is also and it cannot also be resolved through war. We need patience and we need a lot more time. We need to wait for the right opportunity. And the only solution will be by actually reaching an understanding or agreement with India. And that will only happen when India sees Pakistan as a strong country, having a strong economy, and India sees that Pakistan is in a position to defy India and bring pressure on India. Only then India will sit down and discuss Kashmir with us. No America, no China, no other country can force India to do that. The way to
I would like your comment that this is all positive trajectory of Pakistan-US relations. High-level context, as you mentioned earlier, Field Marshal Mateen was invited along with the National Security Advisor. Then there have been frequent telephone calls during the conflict between Pakistan and India, and keeping in view the US President Trump's tweets appreciating Pakistan's leadership. What do you think in the days to come, this positive trajectory of Pak-US relations will continue?
As long as it is in the interest of the United States. And I think right now, Americans think because of economic interest, because of this discovery of rare earth minerals in Pakistan, because of Pakistan's strategic location, because of the situation in Iran, because of the situation in Afghanistan. Yes, the United States will like to stay engaged in Pakistan, and there is I think, and this situation is not going to change anytime soon. So America will stay engaged with Pakistan as long as it needs to.
Thank you so much indeed, Anwar Iqbal Saab, senior journalist, analyst based in Washington, for participating in our program and sharing your thoughts and analysis on one of the most critical subject, that is Pak-US relations and recent high-level meeting between Pakistan and United States and related issues, including trade, counterterrorism, Iran, Afghanistan, and etc., including India-Pakistan ties. Dear viewers, till our next program, goodbye and Khuda Hafiz.
Thank you.